here in Arapahoe County. I'm Peg Pearl, the Director of Elections here in Arapahoe County, and we are here for our part of the statewide recount for the Colorado Secretary of State's race, specifically the Republican primary. So a couple things about this recount. It is statewide, so every county is doing the same process with their own ballots, but on slightly different days. So we are doing our process today here on Tuesday. Couple main things that will kind of explain our process here before we get into the details. Because this is a recount where we will be opening boxes and rescanning every single piece of paper, every ballot that was passed in the first election, we have to rescan all of those. So in order to do that, we have to do a whole new test of our equipment. So on our website, if you saw the logic and accuracy test from before the primary election, we're going to do that test again now because we've zeroed everything out, created a new version of the election which just has the one race, the Secretary of State Republican primary. So in order to do that, we have to do the test. So with this test, there's a couple different parts. We have to have a test deck, which is generally a big pre-marked set of tests, test ballots. This is set up from our mail ballot vendor. So our mail ballot vendor who prints the mail ballots, we need to test that kind of ballot. So we have got 2 tubs worth of pre-marked ballots. And what that is that is a preset amount of marking, particular 1 vote for this candidate, 2 votes for that candidate, for every single ballot style. We have 404 ballot styles here in Arapahoe County in this election because we report by precinct. So for every ballot style, there's going to be a ballot in that test deck that has 1 vote for this candidate 1, a 2 vote for candidate 2, a 3 vote for candidate 3. And it is also every single ballot style will have a blank where there's an undervote, there's no vote for any candidate in that race, and there will also be one where there's an overvote, where you voted for more than 1 candidate in that race. So we know that's 404 ballot styles in each one of those. So what that means is we have our pre-marked test deck, which is 3,874 ballots. That's what we're going to run through first. Now this is all of our ballots, so it doesn't include those Democratic ones, which we're not going to recount later today, but we want to do the full comprehensive test on the system. Because we have those undervotes and overvotes, we're testing all parts of the system, so the scanning, and then also testing the adjudication. So in an election, we set up criteria for ballots to go to adjudication for bipartisan election judge teams to review them based on voter intent and decide what vote should go through the tabulation. So in a normal election, you would test all of the conditions for your election, which would be things like an overvote, voting for more than 1 candidate, to go to adjudication. In a recount, one of the things we do is we update and increase the number of things that go to adjudication because we want to make sure that all of the votes that should have been counted in this race go count. So we're not only going to be sending overvotes, we're going to be sending undervotes, which are not always sent in a regular election, and we're also still sending the blank ballots and the ambiguous marks by a voter. So because of that, there will be those different categories that we anticipate those overvotes for every 404 styles in our test deck, and the undervotes for every 404 styles. We are planning to see those in adjudication. So that's the second part of the test that we're doing here. And we have our bipartisan election judges who will be working through that. And the second part of the test is then we also have our party representatives here from the 2 major parties in order to test the other types of ballots that we have, the ballots that are printed on demand. They are going to hand mark 10 ballots each, which are just the different Republican styles. You're only going to mark the Secretary of State race. You're going to leave the rest of it blank. But you're going to mark whatever you want, whatever combination of candidates you want, and you'll do 10. And then we will also run those through a randomly picked scanner and compare that to a hand tally that you're going to create here to know what your expected results are. And then finally, we're going to take these and also test the tablets that we use for duplicating any ballots that might be needed because they were torn or ripped. And I'm going to use your 10 marked ballots to test those. And that's also the way that we test any ballots that came through tablets at a vote center or that were duplicated in the original election. We'll test that as part of the test today too. So those are kind of the 3 steps. while we get started, we are going to sign the oath for participating as the canvas board members for our party representatives for canvas for this year. So the canvas board is made up of one representative from each of our county political parties and then our clerk, Joan Lopez. So this will be the board who is overseeing the entire recount. And at the end of this process, they will be doing an additional canvas board meeting, which will also be live streamed, that will discuss the results of the recount, comparing it to the original election and any differences that might be there. And then doing the appropriate certification, either amending the certification if there's any change in votes or confirming it. So this will be the board that does all of that. Thank you. So the first thing I'm going to pass around for the canvas board to see is this is the zero proof. This shows that we have zeroed out the election. There's nothing right now. We actually created, like I said, a whole new election just for the recount, just for this race. And that right now the tabulation is all zero. There's no votes hanging out in there. So that today's test would be only the numbers of what we're scanning today for the test. I'm going to take a look and pass that around. And if you have any questions. And then this box, Jane, you might recognize it. This is the box that we sealed the results of the original logic and accuracy test before the original election. And what we're going to do is we're going to open this now so that you can see the original test deck report for the expected number of what we're going to match these test ballots that are going to go through, and so that then you can see that it matches. So can I get scissors? Open this one up. Yeah, they just ended up being reversed. Alright, so we'll open this up. And here is the test deck results from the first time. You can see it's signed by the two canvas board reps, party reps from the first time. So this is the target of what we're looking for in terms of these pre-marked ballots. So just like you'll be doing a hand tally of the ones that you're marking yourself, this is the target totals that we want from that. So we have set this election to only adjudicate and tally the Secretary of State's race, not the whole thing, like the first time. So we're going to move ahead to the Secretary of State's Republican race here. So Secretary of State Republican. So this is going to be our target number here. You can see it's 404. I'll pass it around. It's 404 votes expected for candidate 1, 808 for candidate 2, 404 for candidate 3, and then 404 overvotes and 404 undervotes both. And those two, both the overvotes and undervotes, will go to adjudication this time because the settings in the recount send them both there instead of just the overvotes. Okay? So that's going to be our target here that we're going through. And so basically what we're going to do at this point now is we are going to get started with those test ballots. So our election judges are going to be scanning those test ballots on. We're going to test all 9 tabulators. Tabulator 1 in the corner there was not used in the primary election. It has, so it is not being tested or used in this election. And so we will be using the test step to test all of the other ones, and then you'll randomly select two to do additional testing with your hand ballots. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and get started running the test step. And you guys can be filling out your hand ballots while they're running the test step. And we'll see how that goes. Thank you. I'm going to call in my partisan staff to our registration. And probably have to do again, these are all ballots that have if you want to be on the over one at a time. All right, let me get them printed. But in the meantime, I will show you. So this is the Secretary of State. Original So that was how the test set up the ballot. Our whole ballot test was 1, 2, 1, 2. And so just based on that order. Of course. So the 10, they're each filling out 10 ballots there. So they're going to do 10 ballots each on there. And then you're also going to do a test for the tablets that were used for certification. They are the tablets that were used for certification for the regular election. And the additional intelligence well, it's 40. It'll be 10 from each of them, 1 for scanners, and then 10 from each of them, 1 for absentee ballots were working over ballot printers, so you can choose a selection and testing the center to get more doors. And then she's going to do the same thing where she will have this like a race and hand tallies, and then just have that extra part of the testing.
Yeah, just to start. We have to, you have to go around and that way, and then just come back in. Give me a couple minutes here to make sure. And I was glad to look over here. I was going to warn you, folks. I'm kind of making a little mess over here. Be careful. Lots of cords.
Who's gonna work that? Art, you ready for it? Come on over here. So, got $10, like I said, they're pretty good. I don't think I have a lot of uptick around here. This one in particular, all the stations on the here's another one that's black and silver. All the stations. Oh, sorry. Is it good? Oh, thank you. As long as you're speaking to the Secretary of State's difference, then as long as it's following the instructions in terms of like standing in your place and not writing something on the ballot or prejudice, and then filling in blank and filling the dots by doing this as well. Yes, oh yes, that's not a big deal. Yes, I got my name from some notes on the ballot or something. I'm not writing it, or I'll write myself in. Well, right, right. Yeah, we're just sending you the vision secretary. If you know what's the target areas, it's fine. Yeah, we'll talk about the something like that.
Cross over the line.
Here. Okay.
Find something?
That
That might be similar to what you have, but you were thinking.
Yeah.
I'm all for the OSHA violation. Yeah. I think it's right.
Oh, sorry.
No problem. As you can see, we're pretty close to done with running the actual test ballots themselves, which means, like I said, those ones that are queued for adjudication because of the programming, undervotes and overvotes on this pre-marked test set are starting to show up in the adjudication section. So campus board members, if you want to come over and see the adjudication of the test ballots, watcher, you're welcome to come over as well, and we'll bring the camera over to see what that looks like. Oh yes, did you pick a station that is to run vote on that is not?
You can bring your chair if you'd like too. We might be here a minute. We're just going to this general area over here, so if you stay kind of along the counter, you'll be fine, and then once everybody gets situated, you can probably scoot up a little so you can see what they're doing. Or if you just want to wait till everybody else too, that makes sense too.
marked test deck that we're doing first, not the hand marked deck. So our adjudication settings do cover ambiguous marks by voter, but because this is pre-marked, it's all computer marked. So everything that's coming here right now is either undervotes or overvotes in the expected numbers that we had pre-programmed on our pre-marked test deck. Oh. Yes, yes, yes. You guys, if you want to, you can kind of walk a little behind a couple different stations you want to be able to see. Obviously, we're going to have 3 stations. You guys can. Walk around too. Yeah.
Also, it's posted. It's not gonna go anywhere. Years ago, like, wow. That comes up.
Why even mail this? Why do you do an election when there's nobody running against this thing? That's what we do.
Oh, no, I don't think it's.
Oh, yeah. Some of them are pretty nasty.
Some
They're all been very lovely.
The majority of people are fine. That's not about percent of something. I don't know what.
You're trying to get one of our friends to watch our 3-year-old spend the daycare for the week. She has to take one. Give them all 70.
All the test validations. And then we do the ones, once we verify the number of cards that are read like this. That's what we try to have in the test report.
Every once in a while.
So the CDR for the primary, that will be released after all of the state law, that'll be released in that.
We did have the other one there.
Okay, so that's when we put it online, and so it's so if she wants an electronic copy email to some address or something like that, okay, well then I'm gonna need to know where that would go. And then, what was the other two things? You want to see the primary test deck? One for primary. Okay, yeah, and I will have to check on, both of those, one after this case, so again, all of those would be things I guess we would, do an email, and so if I have an email address, I would send it to her, with all of this stuff, that would be useful. Because if it's, you're just talking about test deck images and the test deck. Right, but I'm saying it's just the test deck, not the launcher, in terms of how it's different. It depends where we actually use it, in terms of how quickly we turn it around, because the test deck doesn't have any cameras or things like that, so that, I'm just saying. No, but I mean, as opposed to all of the other ones. Yes, okay, that is. No, I'm not asking for the election, I'm talking to, at this point, I'm just talking to. Got it, okay, so let me give you my email address, so if somebody wants to email me to us, spellings and all this. It spells, it doesn't always bounce back, right? And, okay, so I get that, so we went to the, approach, but I understand too, that we take the change. Well, no, there would be a recount CDL. We never go back and change an original file. That's been saved, that's correct. And that's what I meant. Okay, put that the original, and then. Yes, so, and then we'll be able to send that to you later tomorrow. Probably not today. So when the recount is over, so I don't know exactly if that's going to be today or tomorrow. Like if this ends up spilling over to tomorrow, for some reason, I want to promise it tomorrow. And I guess what she's asking is she wants that. I understand. I'm just working with my county attorney, so I understand. So we can finish the recount. Which hopefully, I'm hoping to have it.
Yeah.
All about, how many wrap up county? Well, overall, the summary report, which is all the original minutes were done, because it's all on our website. It's, I don't have the exact number off the top of my head, but it's up to 14,000. So the exact numbers are all on our website, because that website is where our comments are. And the 4 so like the overall count on the website, is not CBR. Right, because CBR is the redaction, that our people work with our county attorneys. Right, no, now it images are not on the website, that requires additional redaction.
I think we're done. Yay.
So she's not.
We're done. We're done.
Those are produced subject to Sherry. You have to look at when requested, subject to all the forms. So they're public, they're just not, you don't read it at all. So above and beyond the law. But that is not what it is. That's what it is. We just see everybody's done. Right. But it's also a file size. Yeah. Yeah. We don't want to crash our servers or our computers or other things.
Got nothing? Nothing finished?
Yep.
Okay. Good job. Leave on that.
Okay.
No, because you're gonna get some more.
Okay.
We're going to do that right there.
Yeah, we want to verify that.
Now we have to log out.
So I've got this. So if you guys want to come to the table, we always go
But we're not logging out. We logged out.
Right.
accuracy test before the primary election, and the original diagnostic tests that happened, hardware diagnostic tests that happened beforehand. We had talked to the original campus board about the check on each of these devices that is not connected to wireless, Bluetooth, or any sort of communication or motion. So what we are doing to just fold that into this check is the 3 that you have randomly chosen. Before we scan your hand ballots, we will also illustrate that check to you like we did in the original one on the 3 that you have randomly chosen. So it has been done prior on all of them as required by the diagnostic test, but we will do it again and show you on the 3 randomly chosen here and also on the screen for that. So, Jim, are you ready to?
Yeah, what would be?
We are doing number 5, and then number 8, and number 7. Those are the lucky ones that have been chosen.
Okay, we'll do 5 first.
5 first? Okay, Michelle, I think that was yours. So Justin, I'll come and see as well. And Tom, I don't know if you want to bring the camera to be able to see the wireless check on that. We'll do it on all 3, but you can see what it looks like on this one.
I have nothing. And if I wanted to try to unlock this, it requires a password only the state has access to. We don't have access to the password that would be able to turn that wireless on. So, something that we don't know, but there's proof that there is no wireless connected to it. Good? It's all grayed out, so there's nothing we can do with it. Five, 7, and 8.
Jim, while you're at this one, can you just run the ballot for us?
Can I do that? What are the other two take, 7 and 8?
Yes. 7 or 8. I would have to go back and, if we hired them to go to the vendors, I'd have to go back and find the original, we have these for many years, since this book is in the certified, so I'd have to go back and find the original documents, invoices, and everything like that. But we've had them since, well, I mean, the notice of the overall,
There's 7.
certified, back in.
Anybody that wanted 7 to see that it's wired? You guys want to?
Okay. When did they? Oh, you did.
Well, you can get it.
I can't guarantee that every single, like, I don't have the percentage. That was in the voting system of adopted in Arapahoe County, wasn't the statewide voting system. And then we adopted, we maybe a few people here and there. I can't give you an exact, I haven't been here through that whole time, so I don't have the exact figure for the exact when each generally is done. Generally, we use voting systems since that time. And in general, the equipment.
I'll go after all y'all. I don't want to trip anybody.
Are they in use like all, like any of these monitors or computers? smaller county. No, no, this is 100% locked down for yeah. And this room is the battery for so it's a whole separate, yes, it's a whole separate system.
You're good.
Oh yes, by law, we have cameras, our cameras are on year round, you know, by law, they never require year round. What can you finish this here, and then we'll be scanning it. So that's- Yes, yes, that is our 25-minute storage. That's required.
Okay, we're running ballots on who's got five.
Michelle has 5.
You want that up to?
You don't know, they're telling you. Seven, I think, was yours, Jen? Oh, no, you're 8. Oh, Linda, yours is 7? Yes, ma'am. You want, running, it's running. Jerry, you want to go with her to adjudication? And you can adjudicate with her.
Just the two of us do it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So for her ballot. So it's easy to do, you can just talk to someone.
Well, I'd have to remove it to show that I was disabled. So that's what, that would start stuff.
Oh, you went over to setup number 8. Do you need the key for something else? Okay.
So you've got,
And obviously we also have a security system in the whole building and locks on all the doors to get to the doors outside of this as well, with our batteries are all.
good fine.
Yeah, and we're constantly, we have all sorts of people have construction plans in the works with our county commissioners to increase that construction work. But it's a, different amount of budgets and different budget cycles to continue that work right here. But we do have, we had all these batteries and everything like before they were required by state law. And like I said, we have those on the extra doors as well. We also have a full 24/7 cameras on the outside of the building as well as inside of the building, and a security alarm system in the whole building. So we have layers of physical security, and then we are always improving, but we have layers of physical security that we are always improving as our budget allows each year, because we want to be good stewards of the taxpayer funds.
You accept that back?
And I appreciate any and all emails to our commissioners asking them to increase our election
Oh, I'm good, thanks. I've got it. Thank you. It doesn't look like it, but I have a system.
Ballot number 5.
Yes. Oh, no, wait. Jane was, somebody went straight through. Jane was 8. Well, hold on, those mine are not mine, I'm not there. So what do I do? Just put it through? Yeah. I was, Queen was just saying one of them went straight through. I didn't have it through. You have some? Okay, maybe not. Maybe it's for undervotes? No, you've got yours. Okay. That is, and is that one of yours? I don't know. You can check the ballot style up top, with the image, to double check. That you're looking at the right one. Yeah, very much. And then you can give this to whoever helps you with accounting and you can compare them. Yeah. That's the one. Yes. So none of hers went to competition. Really? Okay. Well, I'll see if that's in the vote. That's how did you mark my vote? I did not do over there, but I did some. I did over there. Oh, well, that's, and there's a percentage.
Do you want me to say where's the fellow up here?
I think that's the last one. Yeah, as long as, the way this works, is it was 25%. That all will have marking in it. Less than 25%.
So, and it is 10:09. Yes.
I'm going to speak to your boss about the shorts.
No, we're getting your legs on camera.
Okay, so if you could just come and sign that report, yes, sign and make your report, that match. Thank you. And there. Yeah, you guys will double check and make sure that the counts match. Oh, she will pull that out and bring it over here. And you were, there's that, right? Okay. So, all three of you did 10 ballots each through the randomly chosen tabulators, and all of them, the hand marked ones matched your count, matched your hand count, right? All three of them, so we signed off on those. And the couple of you who needed some adjudication did some adjudication. You're satisfied with how your ballots were done? So under votes, over votes, properly went to adjudication as needed and properly recorded the votes as needed. So the last part of the test that we're going to do now is with the tablets, just because of the testing in case they were used for duplicating ballots in the original primary, and in case we need to duplicate something today. Maybe something gets torn in the process of unboxing, unboxing, and all that kind of stuff. So we want to make sure that we test those as part of that. So what we're going to do is use these same hand-marked ballots that you guys have already done, and we're going to go and test those three tablets that are over there. And again, just voting the Secretary of State place. So as it is normally done on those tablets, if somebody is voting at a vote center, it will say, it will make you confirm, yes, I want to leave these other ones going. And so you will just confirm, yes, I really meant to leave these other races going. But you want to vote exactly the same way that you did your paper ballot, and you're just reproducing it in that type of ballot, and then we'll run them through the same three scanners that you've chosen, and then make sure that those counts match your hand count, and everything all troops up. And then we'll be ready to have the final sign off on the actual testing part and move on to the count.
And when you say tablet, you mean the ballot marking devices?
Yes. Yes. Any other questions about that step? No? All right, well then let's move over there, and that'll be the last piece of it. So only two. So there's only two that we're going to use for the count, but that one is not for that. So there's only two. Okay.
That was ready.
Okay.
Do you need
All
another?
right, we'll bring another chair. So we'll do this, same way we did our normal LIT process for here, is we do have a bipartisan pair, and so that one person can be looking at the ballot you're reading, and reading out loud the vote, and the other person kind of presses the button, and then you confirm back and forth for sending it through. Okay? The party reps need to, we have two tablets, so one for each party rep, and then it is your choice whether you want to do this step, and if so, which one of those two that you're going to have to wait until they finish those two. So, here we go, and we just need, Evan, you're going to be paired up here with Jane again to do the duplication type ballots, and you two are set to do those two. All right.
Yeah.
We're just turning them on now.
You know the drill.
Yeah, take that one back. Yeah, you get the other one back. Okay. Thank you. So, just to explain to you guys, so that original card that you used to actually open the polls in the morning, which is what we just did, that is a card that the supervisor would have that would just open the polls in the morning, close the polls in the evening. The cards that they are using right now are the ones that the tech judge would have, which they would come over when a particular voter comes to vote, and they would set up the voter to be able to vote in that particular one.
Yeah, you're going right to the
And,
Secretary of State.
then do the vote and go forth from there. The particular poll, the part that they're using right here is to be able to vote, you can't access any of the city venues or any of those kind of things from that. You can't go in or close the polls or do anything from that card. They also never actually use the tech judge, the only one who gets that card, puts it in, takes it and walks away, and then the five card is rejected. So it's never left in the hands of the voter to use the vote.
And does that have to be for every voter, like, does it time out in between voters, or
Yes.
for every voter?
It has to be, because what you do is, the first thing you do is you put the card in, and you put that ballot number that's at the top, the ballot style, to pull up the proper ballot for that voter. And so it means only when they will confirm their vote and finish, you'll see that they will get a screen, it basically defaults and logs out, and it will not start again until a card comes off in between votes. So the whole time that it's sitting there, with no voter in front of it, you can't walk up and push buttons, it wouldn't work. So you can kind of see, when you do a bunch in a row like this, it's kind of awkward because you have to wait and time and then do the rest, because you normally wouldn't do that many circles in a row.
Now I'm gonna go
Because
here.
they get checked into.
Exactly. So this is the process we use to duplicate any of our ballots. So during the primary election and for the canvas report, which is on our website, we do have a duplication log that the canvas board signed off on, of anything that needs to be duplicated. Ballots that we did find in the process that had ridding, when we opened the envelopes and found ridding. Ballots that were torn, chewed by a dog, things like that. Yes, overseas, we chose to use the secure ballot book, and all of those have to be because otherwise it's just printed off your regular printer home, it doesn't work. So our process here in Arapahoe County is we use bipartisan teams to take any of those duplicated ones, we use these and duplicate them onto this ballot. We have a log, original number one, duplicated number one, they're all numbered back and forth. And then if one of those is chosen for the pending audit, we actually go back to the original ballot that the voter touched. We don't do any auditing based on the original or based on the duplicate. We go to the original with the ballot. Now, for the recount, again, we're going to have to use the duplicate because the whole point was that the original couldn't go through the scanner. But you will see it has that label on it. We have the logs, and we know the originals exist in the chart here if they're the original inspection.
Are all of your ballots are stored in like the plastic Rubbermaid tubs, right?
So the special tubs that we have with the seals on the sides, yes, and the labels.
They're not cardboard boxes, you guys use plastic tubs?
Yes, yeah, that's our style that we have. And then we put them up on the pallets, we actually wrap them in plastic wrap, like a pallet would be, and then put them up on the wall. So they're actually shrink wrapped together, all of the tubs are shrink wrapped together.
So if it rains, would that protect you?
If it rains
Inside, I
inside,
mean, like if there was a leak.
it is plastic instead of paper, so we like to think it offers more protection, either for that or for like a fire system or something. It is that, yeah.
And sorry, I'll have to like,
And more secure, honestly.
how that works is probably.
I couldn't set it that way.
Colorado, more weather. But we do think plastic offers a little
You
more
want me to
protection.
set it that way, or you want to just know you get one?
But there's a lot of ways to do it, and where you store it, and all different types of rooms and things like that, all different things too. So I'm sure every county deals with their own facilities and the way that works best for them.
I know.
So this is one that goes, go ahead and hit the button.
It's got to be a sync, right?
That holds for $2.
It'll stay that way for us.
So what he just did was come over again and secure the settings one, because this one is on the so then we go into channel multiplication of the ones obviously that are not.
That's different, and we're duplicating ballots, so there's a genuine overvote. Pass, less
your mail ballots, like your unbelievable.
They also get conducted to, pallets on the wall, also.
What happened?
I'm just saying, what happens to them before? There's a state prescribed process, to, note them in store in terms of, noting a registration file, a voter registration file. It depends on what the sticker is that comes back from the post office, whether it's portable address, not portable address, etc. But that goes into the voter registration, and it's used for correspondence or letters to the secretary. Based on what comes back from the.
Do you know how many returns you had to do, or for primary?
The exact number is in the, campus board reports that are on our website. So it's part of those, what those numbers, the post office campus board reviews. But like I said, those code, they become inactive, so ballots don't get sent out to those, it's just a letter gets sent out to them saying, hey, something came back to us, the post office says, on this one, if you choose to live here, blah, 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 it's an option to take their record, or cancel their record and withdraw if they lose that state, pretty much.
And was it a unanimous vote or
It was.
What that does, it allow you to overgo the contract.
Okay.
It's not available in voting center.
Oh, I didn't do that, right?
Thank you, Justin.
I have the query for state, so I was trying to ruin the video for the Dropbox. And I was quoted over $4,000 from their application. And, I would like just to discuss that with you at some point, because that makes it totally inaccessible to the public. Like, it puts up this artificial barrier of money that I don't, $100 to spend. You know, the lowest bid I got was for County paying $1, quoted me $250, which is, you know, not horrible, obviously. But boy, if we as citizens want to help monitor that, because they, correct me if I'm wrong, but they don't get viewed unless you think that there's a reason to view them, is that right?
That's for total direct. So we actually have a hybrid system in our Rapid County. So one of the things about Dropbox is in Rapid County is we're one of the systems that has had them the longest, and so we've had cameras the longest. So one of the problems about being an early adopter is sometimes you have older technology. So we are right now in a place where some of our older boxes have the oldest cameras, and we have newer cameras in newer boxes. So similar to what we were discussing before about security in this building, we have been going through budgetary process in different years. We actually got a budget package approved by our board of county commissioners last year to spend over $150,000 this year to upgrade all cameras across the county to the new system in time for this November election. So there will be a whole new system which will make it extremely easier for both us and for court requesters starting in November. That is not a great. The June camera is unfortunately installed because I had to stop it. So part of what that system does, depending on which camera you're in, is it allows live remote viewing by individuals in county. The counties where you do look at those cameras, and myself, I have access to levels on my desktop all day if I want on such a monitor. So it's easy to some cameras have that ability to so you're in the process of that. Yes, I know. I was sitting there for
Once you have the mouse.
how can you make that? It would be accessible.
I mean, actually accessible. I mean, I just told you the barrier that I perceived.
Well, and what I'm saying is part of our new system is to increase that barrier because it will be cheaper and easier for us to download it and share it.
Right, and I understand that, but it's wrong, you're right, many counties have it all mixed in with other.
Right, and that's what we're moving away from, we just don't have it any more goal to have that in place by this November. Which is at this point on it.
Is it something that to eliminate the fee, the public can come in and view in-house? Is it something, we're just trying to figure out a way for the public to access this?
That's not currently in our plans for this system and for this election. I would have to look and see what the plans are with both state laws and advice by county attorney and all those type of things. Again, similar to what we discussed in terms of bandwidth,
back to, we're involved in elections and we'll run it on our side. And like state companies, you know, it's like, it's not really accessible, it's like, I would actually want to. And I get it that, I mean, hours worth of video, even if it's a video report on the motion potential. So the new ballots go back to the chosen scanner, go back to the new ballots, and then the ballot. So that we can help. Really, what would I do? I would see it, right? And I would say, hey, that looks weird, and I would call up clerk and say, hey, did you check this right here? And you guys, that's your responsibility. That would be your, that would be your,
So Jim, you still use that?
just write down what the CO2 is on here. The one that you're done with now. Yeah, why don't we do one now, and we'll do the other one once they're done. Because I think that message is lost. You know what I mean? Oh, you have to put it in both. Because, I mean, you just have a blank ballot submitted to you, you guys actually, that works. Run that through, like a completely blank ballot. Alrighty. Standard 7, you want this? Yes, thank you.
What'd you say?
Standard 7.
Scanner 7, he's ready for you. Mike, you run these for her, please? Same drill as the last time.
and has matched your hand ballot, correct? So you signed both of those, great. We are getting a report right now on yours, so that'll be in a moment. And as soon as that comes out, the last piece we have is, this is the official testing completion affidavit. And what I've done is we write down the serial numbers and the serial numbers of those two tablets that you just tested. So these are the two that we're using the recount that you got tested for this test. And this is signed off on from the testing board members and the third class campus board who's running this test today. This certification plus all of the individual courses you can sign, all of that will go back into that box like we had with the original one, was all our records I could save for 25 bucks because, like I said, building on the official results of the primary election is all those things. Those and make sure that you can check it, then I will pass this around. Any questions from the campus board about your tests before next we'll be moving into then restamping the actual ballots for the primary election. No?
Just some on.
No, nothing has been changed other than, like I said, we, at the end of the primary election, did our normal reporting and downloading of all of those records and reports. And then we, for this recount, made a new election in the system that just the Secretary of State, that starts with a copy of that same definition file, like the same file for the election, that election, but it limits everything to just this one race. But nothing else has happened to the system, to the, anything else here. No, that never happens during elections. So nothing has happened.
So let me ask this, I know that election rule 10.13.3 says that you have to adjudicate all the overloads on the notes, jobs and titles, whatever. So that makes it appear at least that the parameters on the scanner tabulars have been changed in some way or another from the election.
So again, like I explained at the beginning, just like for this test, when we set up this recount election as a new election, limited to just the Secretary of State's race on just the Republican ballot, what we did is we set up the election, basically checked the box to say, only look at this one race when you're sending things to adjudication, only look at this one race when you send things to tabulate, and then also you check the box of what things to send to adjudication. And yes, because it is a recount, we basically check that extra box of undervotes, which would not have been checked in the original. But there's no new programming or changes to the system that needs to be done to that. But that is required to just, in terms, just like we're changing it to only look at one race, we are then saying add this less races, but more possible ballots to adjudication within the scope of that one race.
So you can actually pull a report up that says that these are the changes that were made in the system.
Let me ask that, it's real simple, when the adjudication has filtered, says what do you want by part?
Right.
The only thing we have is the next step is another.
Right, you can pull a report up that shows those changes that were.
I don't know right now what sort of public reports get pulled out of that system, so I don't want to promise something that I don't know about. It is not something we use in our regular reports of business under the Secretary of State rules and laws. So I don't want to promise any additional reports than what we normally run in the campus for. So I just don't know right now. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, any questions from the campus board before passing around the certification? Okay, let's start here with you. So, what we're going to have to do right now, in order, obviously we just ran a test and a whole bunch of ballots through here. We don't want these totals to be added to the recount totals. Now we want to do the recount. So what I'm going to successfully completed the logic and accuracy test for the recount in this election. We're going to end the recount logic and accuracy test. We're going to take a brief break. We're going to end the Facebook Live. And what's going to happen is our team needs to zero this out, just like we started with the zero proof, to show there were no votes sitting in the system. We're going to zero it out and move from the test setting to the tabulation setting for the recount. And then we will reconvene to actually be scanning into that total. So we'll show you that zero report when we come back together. Depending on how long it takes to clear through, it might just be, 10, 15-minute little bathroom, go get a drink type of little break is all I'm talking about. But also, as you guys know, the campus board has to observe everything that's going on, so we all have to take a break at the same time. So this is going to be a chance to take one of those breaks before we come back and start scanning the actual ballots. We'll be able to move some of those into the room and get staged for them. Okay?
So can regular certified election workers coming in on the street?
Yes, so we'll talk about the numbers that we have assigned that we worked out with that for in a moment. Yes.
Do you have people signed up for the both parties? Or
That is
it doesn't have to be both parties.
So it's with the party chairs. So I'm just going to close this after Facebook right now. So the test is completed and successful. Thank you very much. We'll be back after the break with the actual recount. Thanks.
I know,